being chased across the country and becoming divorced would ultimately change my life and what I would do about it. Well, this is what I do about it, Hacked Human Broadcast, because I'm completely sick of these complete motherfuckers. They're a joke. So, all of a sudden, I hear a loud voice, and it's our hero, Dave, jumping out in the street, from way down the road somewhere. But I hear it where I'm standing, right? Get out of the car, get out of the car. Get on the ground, I'll shoot you in the back and I'll put it on TV. What's the matter? You didn't know that Brian, that's me by the way, has a cousin who's in the FBI? You're all under arrest. And then they just kind of went away. I guess their wives called them to bed for the night. Because they sit at home and do this, by the way. They're allowed to take this technology home to their houses. And so once this false arrest occurs, I sit down exhausted, right on a curb, in Alabama, River Falls, Alabama, between 10 and 12 p.m., December 29th, 2021. It was near 12 o'clock, but this had been going on all afternoon. And as I look up, shadowing over me and passing by, slowly as if barely gliding, a triangular craft. Same kind known as the TR-3B. Black, barely above me, not very high at all, probably higher than I would think, because it's hard to judge distance, from the ground. Just through the clouds, just there's waves around it, and that's when I realized that's where these voices and all this audio transference communication has been coming from the whole time. There's a craft above me, projecting this to the ground. You know that these vehicles and these crafts used by Space Force and the Air Force and Special Access programs have technology on board that can make you believe that you are being surrounded on all sides. It could just be one person operating the voices of many, many people. There's also various video controls and things that go along with it. But it communicates with satellites and people on the ground, and it's the ultimate surveillance vehicle that I know of to this day. Like I said, once again to Dave, I'll apologize if it's not you, Dave. Especially when I'm able to look at you face to face in Ohio. But these are the kind of things that are going on. And in the week before this, in Florida, as I'm driving my vehicle down a back street, pardon me, a little more stick. Suddenly surrounding me on the ground are the images of what appear to be men, soldiers, in full battle suits. Masked, red eyes swirling like the electric grill on top of an electric stove. They're wearing different colors. There's light up color insignias on the shoulder pads, also in the midsection on the sides. Most of all of which were green. A couple orange. One standing in the middle of the road was in red, who turned and looked at me. Now, this is another capability that these machines and crafts have. You've heard of Project Bluebeam, etc., and all those things. Not only can it make an enemy combatant or soldier feel he's being surrounded, but they can also transpose imagery to the ground of actual soldiers in the field surrounding you. Strangely enough, the following week I would see two more of these individuals standing behind a sign in Alabama. Now, this time, it didn't look so much like projections at all. It actually looked, in the mannerisms and movements of them, looked like actual, real human beings wearing these tremendous suits. Now, these suits, the face mask and the way the shoulder pads were aligned looked very much like the Japanese samurai. I would assume it's an effort to frighten people. It's very frightening. And a voice was projected me later, apparently by my cousin, my friend there. I scared the shit out of that guy. Now, using weapons of war from a military craft to scare somebody sounds a lot like terrorism, doesn't it? Because isn't that the point of terrorism, is to instill fear into others? So that's the domestic terrorism I'm talking about. Now, you'll have to wait till the gang stalking episode. You have to pardon me, I gotta finish this steak and drive to northern Indiana right now. We got about 30 minutes to leave. It's a 7-hour drive. Now, episode 8 Stay with me now. This is fantastic information. I will be tagging Mr. Hegseth, Mr. Patel, Mr. Ratcliffe, all the major players in the game, because the constant harassment by unacknowledged individuals that cannot show me proper credentials is unacceptable. Unacceptable. I was in the Army and I was taught that you never speak to press or any person claiming to be any foreign entity or domestic agency for that matter or entity that can't provide or offer you proper credentials. That's what we're taught. We live by the Army values. When you're in the Army, when you leave the Army, it's the same. And this has been going on for 3 years and now 1 month, maybe 3 months total. Look at my feed. Look at the military drone I show you a picture of over and over again. This is a vehicle that once I took its photograph, shot up over a little bit, and then transposed itself across the entire sky in a second. On a bright blue, clear day without a cloud in the sky, I watched it leave. It left under its own power, some sort of propulsion that we're unaware of, that are often talked about. It's not a conspiracy anymore. We know there are things that can move that we can't explain, the UAVs, the UAPs, all the other crazy acronyms they have for this stuff. Well, it has an internal camera, and it records you in your home. I explained that in episode number 2 and 3. I touched on it a little bit. No, this is 3. Pardon me for that. Number 2. So stick with me. Find out more, because it's about to get real like you wouldn't believe. I have been given so much information, has been leaked to me. No, pardon me, I don't want to say leaked. That wouldn't be precise. Revealed to me. Revealed to me by operators in the business that just don't care anymore, because they've been so used to getting away with anything they want for so long, they would have never ever guessed that this election would turn out the way it did, and then Mr. Patel would be appointed, and then Mr. Hegseth would be appointed, Mrs. Gabbard would be appointed, Mrs. Bonney would be appointed, and they're going to be found out for their abuse, for what they have called often a game. I was told, "You're playing my game, Brian. You've been playing my game a long time." That's a quote. All right. I must get moving. I hope you enjoyed number 3. Number 5 is up. It's a one-piecer. 6, 7, and 8 will be coming rapid fire, and 8 will absolutely blow your freaking mind. And once you see it, we will all be the disinfectant and can stop these bums from harassing people, trying to ruin marriages and careers for their own delightful purpose. I was told I needed to be taught a lesson. Okay? Sexualizing my 12 and 14-year-old daughter, these men would do every single day while talking to me to get a rise from me. These people are not okay. They're not real men. They have no integrity, and they're a joke. And they have absolutely no business having access to the public. I'll explain more on how they do it, and I'll give you information about the tech. Hacked Human Broadcast. Out.